Have you ever wondered why the spiritual principle of birth holds such profound significance in primitive societies? How does this concept intertwine with the role of totems in these communities? These questions may seem abstract, but they touch on the fundamental understanding of human beings' relationship with their environment and the spiritual world. In the realm of primitive societies, the spiritual principle of birth is a pivotal factor. It's not just about the physical act of bringing a new life into the world, it's about a spiritual journey, a rite of passage that connects the physical and spiritual worlds in a deeply profound way. Now let's delve into the concept of the totem. In primitive societies, the totem holds a paternal character, yet it's not a representation of a personal father. Instead, it's an embodiment of spiritual fatherhood, a symbolic figure that bridges the gap between the familiar and the unknown. Often the totem takes the form of an animal, although it can also be a plant or an inanimate object. The purpose of the totem is to make the birth spirit, something distant and foreign, feel familiar and connected. This is achieved through a magical ritual, a ceremony that allows the primitive psyche, which is much closer to the inanimate than ours, to identify with the totem. When an individual is ritually inducted into the spiritual world of the totem, it signifies that the shared numinous, the transpersonal that lies beyond the personal, is experienced as the source of existence. This is the meaning of all the ceremonies in which one transcends the personal. These rites of passage, like all initiation ceremonies, aim to create something suprapersonal, a collective shared part of the individual. This creation is a second birth, a new generation through the masculine spirit designed to sever the child's familial ties. The masculine group is the birthplace of consciousness, higher masculinity, individuality, and the hero. The totem is what the group identifies with unconsciously. It forms a multi-generational bond, serving as a sort of spiritual father. It is primarily the numinous and a transpersonal entity. It's collective because it represents an animal, plant, or any other thing, but it's not individual, not as a person, but as an idea. In the primitive level, it's a spirit with mana, performing magic, and one must approach it with the proper ceremony. The totemic entity forms the basis of a totemic community. It's not a biological unit, but more of a fraternity in the modern sense, a kind of spiritual collective. In summary, the spiritual principle of birth and the role of totems in primitive societies are deeply intertwined. The totem serves as a bridge between the familiar and the unknown, embodying spiritual fatherhood and forming the basis of a spiritual collective. The rites and ceremonies surrounding the totem signify a second birth, a rite of passage into a higher level of consciousness and individuality. This complex web of relationships and rituals forms the very fabric of primitive societies, offering a fascinating glimpse into the human spiritual journey.